Good morning. My name is Norman Constantine, and I'm here to tell you about my philosophy of education. I hope you all appreciate the Italian flag behind me because, well, I'm half Italian. Anyway, I put that flag up as a background on my desk. Doesn't have anything really to do with what I'm about to talk about. So, to my philosophy of education. I believe in student-centered learning. A learning environment exists for its students. I'm a constructivist, and I define constructivism as developmentally appropriate learning that is student-initiated and directed, and that is supported by the connected physical and digital network of the teacher and classmates of the student. Like Huizinga and Piaget, I see play as instrumental to human learning, as it is quite literally practice for life. I also believe, like John Dewey, that learning should have a practical aspect to it and relate to the learner's world. Learning should be a hands-on, touch and try rather than the prevalent mode of tell and test. I believe in dialogue and storytelling as the primary structure for communication in a learning environment. Like Jerome Bruner and Roger Schenck, I believe we organize our world with narrative order by telling stories, and that we should encourage students and teachers to interact in this way. A learning environment should prepare us for the world by allowing us to interact with the world to, as Sir Ken Robinson encourages, allow students to find their element. In this technological flat world, this is very possible, necessary, and doable. And one of the ways that we do that is to integrate digital technology into the nature of our learning institutions, which will change the very way that we do things. Now, the primary task of a teacher is to discover the passions of the learners and to connect those passions to the curriculum and the learning environment. The learners need to feel safe so that they will try things and risk failure. Digital technology provides all of those things. Learners should proceed at their own rate and not be penalized for failure, but be rewarded for success. Access should reward the learner for what they can, should reward the learner for what they can do rather than penalize the learner for what they cannot yet do. The feedback loop needs to be as immediate as possible, much like in a video game, so that the student will continue to level up. Progress should be marked by benchmarks set by the teacher and learner, and should proceed at an individual pace and design in collaboration with classmates, much like people do when they engage in a game. I believe that the learning environment should be a consistent dialogue between the members of the learning reality with each other and the world around them. Technology, especially digital technology, should play a large role in expanding the world of learning. Students should be engaged with the real world while they are in school. Digital technology allows us to do that because students should have real-world experience in their learning worlds. We should strive to put students in situations where they practice being what they're interested in. Rather than always being lectured to about history, for instance, learners should practice being historians by attempting to write history whenever possible. Learners should be journalists by creating digital newspapers and magazines, not just reading about it or about how it's changing. If a student wants to write, the student should publish short stories and novels or magazine articles and journal articles. Learners should be encouraged at all times to share what they learn with the world, to find an audience for what they know. And that means an audience beyond the school. The internet is often viewed as a place where we find information, find data, and bring it to us. It is also a place where when we take this data and create it, we should have an outlet for contributing our constructed knowledge to the sum total of what we do as a species. The learning world should be a place where learners and teachers share stories about the world around them with each other and with the larger world, again, through the use of digital technology. The World is Flat does a great job in explaining how this is happening and how we have to, by Thomas Friedman, and how we have to bring this to the classroom. No group should be taught the same way. Curiosity should be encouraged rather than destroyed. Student interest should drive the learning within a broad curriculum. Learning is an active verb, something you do by yourself, and not something you have done to you. Learning is empowerment. Everyone in a learning environment should be encouraged to see the world from as many vantage points as possible. This is how a community begins to join together into a new vision of sharing and collaboration. Imagination, creativity, group formation are the special traits of human beings that learning environments should be trying to encourage in everything that they do. Learning is a social activity, and so is digital technology. I believe everyone in a learning environment is a teacher and a learner. Human beings learn best by example. When we leave a learning environment at the end of the day, we should all have sore shoulders from all of the students standing on them and leaping into the new world. It is our responsibility to find out what the students want to know, how it connects to our learning world, and how it connects to our curriculum, and then to make those connections. That's the challenge of teaching and learning in the 21st century.